I mean, hey, it's 7 p.m. here. That tells you how my day's go. I said, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you doing?
Fair to middling?
Yeah? It's Wednesday,
Yeah,
man. I mean, come on. It's always a
it
great
is.
evening. I think it's kind of like that Wednesday evening is that tipping point where everyone now can start looking towards, the weekend. Look out weekend. Here we come.
Yeah. Hey, hump day. See, I'm so glad people stopped saying that. I really am.
But
I
you
really am.
just said
It
it.
just, yeah, no, and I hope the hell it didn't start a trend, but I don't think I'm that popular. Let's see. So, hey, we have a great show, great panel lined up, and I just love these. Here's the deal. I had people reach out to me and talk to me, and they've seen the show, they've seen some of the hounds, and they ask, they're like, what is like I was waiting for the meat, right? Like some of them like, oh, it's like Comedy Central or something, right? But there's meat in there. I'm like, yeah, dude, who wants to sit in college again or class again, right? Like you only bring up a PowerPoint and just bore the hell out of you, right? Just kill everybody from boredom now, or do you want to have fun doing it, right? Again, that's the whole point. I don't want to do it if I can't have fun. I'm too old not to have fun anymore. I don't know. Maybe you feel the same way, but I like to have fun, like to learn, and these two, man, they're just the epitome of that. So I'm super excited about it. But before we, because nobody watches the first 2 minutes, I don't think. Um, so I remember this because I was talking to people back in the day. I have like the OG hounds, right? Like Dina and Leslie and those folks. They're still around and they're still my support system. Uh, but it was funny because it took them what months to be able to say redneck.
Oh, yeah. And look at the redneck frozen in time and space. This is really good. Should we comment, guys, on how handsome Mike is right now, looking frozen and all that good stuff? No? Yes? Okay. Tell us in comments. So, um, while he comes back to us, why don't we say hello to Dale that logged in from the UK, sir? Thank you so much. It's better on a laptop. Yes, I could probably tell you that as much. We've got Natalie. Thank you so much. Hello everyone, and from Natalie. And of course, Raquel. Familia. Yay! Good to see you, beautiful. And we've got, I like my magic mirrors. He's Ashif Haji. Hey, Ashif, are we connected, my friend? I think you made a comment that we're not connected. I could have sworn I connected with you, but double check and see if you got the invite on there. So, um, look at people. Here I come. So here's a fun part. So, wow, don't know what to say right now, other than how is everyone doing? I had just had a really interesting conversation earlier today about connections and why, the Hounds business happy hour exists. Like, what is the purpose of it? And why are people talking about it? To me, it's interesting when people talk to you about things of, what's so special about it? And I can't help but answer and say it's the guests, it's the people that we put on, it's the people, our audience that, take the time to listen and chat with us. I mean, there's some seriously funny conversations that's coming up on the sidelines here. And oh, I love our private chats behind the scenes as well. And I'm gonna have to read it because Brian's in backstage here. Mike, you're rebooting that booty. I'm hoping he's rebooting that booty. He's in the shed, you guys. He might be like, I don't know, maybe there's a Wizard of Oz tornado that just came by and like whisked him away. We'll find out shortly. Depends on if his TP is gonna keep him like, afloat or not. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, connection corner. Can I just tell you guys, it is my show. You know what? Should we? You know what? Here, this is what we'll do. I'm just gonna pull you two up because you guys are cracking me up. Okay, we're gonna do the unofficial invite and bring you guys on because you know what? Damn it, Janet,
No.
we're just gonna have fun without Mike. How about that, guys? We're gonna take over,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
We can talk about Mike until he comes back. Share all
right?
the secrets. See, I'm a new hound, so you guys have to catch me up on the last 6 months. When did the hounds really form? Was it 6 months ago? A year?
I would probably say about the beginning of the year would be
Yeah.
well, last year, and I think in earnestness, I think more intentionally probably was the beginning of the year, and then it's evolved, you guys. It's been such an amazing community of folks. I mean, legit, you guys. Sure, there's like things that we do together that just helps encourage and support and grow, but it's not so much purely about the LinkedIn algorithm, because I know a lot of people start, saying, "Oh, you guys are another pod," but truthfully, it's like I said this before. I mean, Claire, I don't know if you're ready for this, but we have like midnight texts and conversations with this group. It's kind of
Yes, there
weird,
is.
right, Bryan? Like,
There is, yes. No, it's
there-
good though, honestly, because I think the one thing I love about the hounds is people really, since not just the pandemic, but the push from work from home, really miss like the social connection, the human interaction, right? Like we really need that.
Yes.
And LinkedIn is great for that. It's a good tool for that, but this takes it like to a whole nother level, just where things are happening offline, and it's fantastic.
right. No, I love it. So, you know what I just realized? We probably should just roll his intro because I have a tendency to forget to do that. So, why don't we do the intro and then we're just going to come back and it's going to be, you know what? It's going to be our show today, guys. Are we cool with that?
Cool. Ready.
All right, let's do it.
Are you looking to grow your business and your mindset alongside a fun and awesome pack? Grab a chair and your favorite beverage and join Mike Ashebrainer, the business mechanic, and his win-win network for the Hounds of Business Happy Hour.
Hi guys, we're back. Oh my gosh, Claire, because I wasn't sure if people come late if they actually see the private chat prior to your arrival, so you can see it. I am funny. Damn it.
You are. Totally. Oh my gosh. It just makes me laugh so much. It's like, so I have a small but a mighty podcast, and in the beginning when I started recording with guests, like, we would have a lot of like this kind of banter behind the stage and behind the scenes and like laugh and tell jokes. And then as soon as we started hitting record, it was like buttoned up, all business. Yeah. And it takes a while, right, to get over that stuffiness and to let the backstage get on the forefront. So you guys do it well.
You just made me think of a song that's totally inappropriate, and it's an 80s hip hop rap song, and pretty confident I'm not going to say the name of the band, but it's a something along the lines of which no backstage pass.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I just did an age check. You guys got it. Okay.
I know the song, unfortunately. Fortunately.
I danced at a time or two. Because it's a funny, good song. So okay, guys, well, welcome so much to the Hounds of Business Happy Hour. And you know what? Our fearless leader of the show. This ain't the first time that we've done shows without him. So Raquel, girl, if you want to pop back in, because if you want to take over, that'd be like the coup d'etat. Oh my gosh.
Oh, here's
whose
somebody.
dog? And is it a wait? I want to hear. Wait, it's on the park.
Harley.
Come here.
Oh, it's your Harley.
Harley, come.
How big is Harley?
Like 35 pounds. She's all talk.
Okay, she's a cutie. She's like all fur. It feels like.
She is. Yeah, she's a corgi. She's all fur.
Oh,
your baby. Hi, baby face.
Look at her. She's protecting the troops. She's protecting you.
She was.
Right. Yeah.
Yes, very much so. She's waiting for mom to get home.
So Paul Deitch wants to know, where's Lauren? Where have you hid your wife?
She's at work. I'm playing.
Well, hey.
Yeah, she's actually at a cybersecurity training course for like training people for cybersecurity.
Oh, that's cool. Very cool. Oh, you know what? My background's in cyber, so we actually have a time scheduled to talk to each other tomorrow, so that's pretty exciting.
Yes.
So, okay, so we have like so many people, and I'm like trying to like read our comments, but I just want to go and say someone under the name of Raquel Flores says Claire M. Davis is stunning.
Oh my gosh, girl, get out of here. Get back up on this stage right now.
I know, right?
I'm telling you.
Okay, Deo. Is it Deo or Dio? Can someone tell me how to pronounce Deo's name? Does anybody know how to pronounce his name yet? I haven't had a one-on-one with him yet. Deo or Dio, could you tell us your name, how to pronounce it? Because I love you, and this is with utmost respect. And of course, someone with my name of Sia gets a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
but I was actually texting with Rocky before this, literally this afternoon. And you know that Harry Belafonte song, the banana boats?
Yeah. Yeah.
What is
Deo,
happening?
Deo. So
Oh
I just
yeah.
want you to know, every time I see
Raquel was
Deo,
quick to that.
did she just post?
She did right as you were saying it, which means that she did it before you said it.
Hey, if you guys want to sing with me, you are more than welcome to sing along with me. Daylight
No,
come.
you guys will. Everyone will just jump off if I
I was
start.
gonna say they might run for the hills if I start singing on the show.
Oh
Oh my
no, girl!
goodness.
I trust me. I am the queen of closing down. Like they don't even have to know who I am. I walk into a karaoke bar and they're like, "You're last," and my song is called "The Clash." Should I stay or should I go? And they're like,
Mm.
"Oh yeah, girl, go!" Like everyone's gonna go. Everyone just leaves. Like I can close out any karaoke bar.
That album of the Clash, London Calling, I would
Oh.
say people get upset all the time. I would say that's probably one of the best albums, period, like of all time. Like every single song, a number one hit, just so well put together. We can talk
Yeah.
about the Clash later, but you got me excited.
Oh
Oh,
man,
yeah.
live. I am all about the Clash. In fact, they're like one of my favorite bands of all time. So yeah, we can. There's an actual guy out of the what's his name? Something Gray out of the UK. And Fridays he does it. He goes over an album. And I
Oh.
think a couple weeks ago he did AC/DC. And I was like, oh, I'm a late comer to the AC/DC world fandom. After I saw them live, I was like, holy smokes, they
Oh,
were
yeah.
and they were so rocking and rolling. I couldn't begin to imagine in their prime how good they must have sounded.
Where'd you see them live?
At American Airlines here in Dallas. So
Oh, okay.
at the time, I worked at this wonderful company called Hewlett Packard Enterprise, and they had suites.
Oh
And
yeah.
bet your you know what, anytime and every time there's a cool concert in town, I couldn't believe it. My local brethren never used the suites, so I would take my clients. I'd be like, "Who wants to go see AC/DC? Who wants to go see?" Gosh, we got to see Billy Joel. I had
Oh,
to do
cool.
Justin Bieber. Oh my god, that was the
Oh
worst.
gosh.
Oh my god. It was so bad. It was so bad. My VP wanted to take some people and he's like, bring clients now. And I'm like, okay. So I brought some clients. And then I'm standing there and I'm looking at my boss and I'm like, what is wrong with you? Why do you want to go to a Justin Bieber show? It turned out he took his wife and daughter. So I was like, okay, got it.
Oh.
I know what game we're playing here. But
Mhm.
so many, I can't believe how high the pitch these little girls can scream. Like it is so piercing. It's like
Yes,
kind of like my
like
singing.
only dogs can hear that high pitch. Oh my gosh.
It got so bad I literally took toilet paper, wetted it, and just shoved it in my ear. That's how bad it was.
Oh Lord.
All
Okay,
right,
well,
so-
who's the best concert you've seen? I mean,
Bryan, do you want to go first on that?
Yeah, for me, it's that's tough. So I've seen Eddie Vedder and Pearl Jam like too many times to know, and then Tom Petty's like my all-time favorite because before I lost my dad, that was the first concert I ever went to. Imagine this lineup: Tom Petty and Jackson Brown. It was incredible, and they played together. It was awesome, and so I like fell in love with Tom Petty. So I would say Eddie Vedder in concert is really good, especially when he's just by himself and it's not Pearl Jam.
Oh.
And then after that, Petty for sure.
oh yeah.
Oh, fascinating.
How about
And
you
Chris
know-
Cornell was good.
Oh,
Okay, I've seen Chris Cornell
He
live
can
too,
wail.
but I think no, he sounds great. His presence
his
was
voice
less than,
is so good.
but his presence was less than like
He was
interesting.
he was probably out to lunch, I'm sure, but his
Oh.
voice is incredible.
Yeah, he can. Yeah, he can absolutely like belt it out. So my personal favorites will and always be Depeche Mode because they're one of my favorite bands. But my other one though, which I think people find fascinating, is Dolly Parton.
Oh, she's
Oh.
awesome.
Watching her live.
She's
Yeah.
awesome. So many number one hits. I mean, so incredible, so good.
she's got such a good story too. Like such a good
Incredible.
heart, such a hard
Whew.
worker, and it's all stuff that still applies today.
Yes, for sure.
Love it.
Okay,
She's
Bryan,
awesome.
okay, I didn't realize you were posting music trivia. You know this is like my jam, sir.
Oh, you saw that question finally?
Am I that far behind? Oh my gosh.
I
So
don't know. I'm
to
ADHD, so
meet. Oh my
a
gosh.
lot of
Wait,
people don't know that some of the members from the Clash formed another band after that and had a couple #1 hits again. But most people don't know the name of the band. It's a really obscure band. Do you
I
know it?
do. I do. I
No
actually
one
saw
else
them.
has
I
seen
actually
it.
saw them.
Oh, Ghostland Observatory is awesome. They're a band from Austin. I saw them a couple times, Joanna. They're awesome.
Claire's like, what are you guys talking about?
Okay, I'm waiting to hear the name of this band.
Big Audio Dynamite.
That's it.
Ooh. Okay.
Oh,
BAD. Like
yeah,
it.
we got some
BAD, yep.
band input. Kiss.
Oh,
Okay.
Kiss.
Okay, James Patrick, let me tell you, my friend. I want to hear I thought that this one song was Kiss all along, but it was Journey. I was a kid, so I mean, like, forgive me, but for the life of me, and also one day I see Steve Perry singing, and I'm like, that's not Kiss.
Just no.
Oh no, I was a kid. What are you gonna do?
They
That's
So
awesome.
used all the time, those bands. Really similar. Really similar.
oh, and of course, Constance. You know what? Can we just give a shout out, Tina Turner?
Yeah. Wow.
Rest in
Right.
peace.
Oh, no.
That's wild. I know.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Amazing woman.
Incredible voice.
Okay. So how about this? Is there a person or band that you regret you never got to see? And I'm purposely asking this question because I see Mike stewing in the background right now. So we're penalizing him for losing his internet because apparently the shed has challenges for that last mile.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I would have if I've got one we can still see, but it won't be the same. Is the Foo Fighters?
Oh,
Love
dude, they are
Foo.
incredible.
But Taylor, of course, passed last year, and
Yeah.
but I'll still go see him. I'll still go see him. I don't know who's drumming for him now. Maybe Grohl's back in charge. I don't know.
He
No,
is
they just
incredible.
announced. They just
Oh,
announced
did they?
a guy, yeah, and I don't know who he is. I just saw the headliner and I didn't recognize the name, but apparently he's a well-known session drummer, and
Huh.
I think he's already worked with them before. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Okay.
I have to go look it up.
Mm-hmm.
Brian, what
Honestly,
about you?
for me, it's going to sound really odd, but only because I'm super jealous. So my mom got to see Elvis live.
Oh.
And honestly, I wish Johnny Cash or Elvis, I wish I could have seen.
Johnny Cash.
Yeah, Johnny Cash would be awesome. And my mom still, like, it's funny. She remembers like JFK. She remembers all of that. And then she has such vivid details of when she saw Elvis. And I'm like, Mom, those are very different ballparks there. And she's like, son, they're both very important.
Man, that's so funny. Well, guys, I mean, it's all fun and games, but should we let our actual host come in?
Yes.
Oh,
Maybe.
right. Yeah.
I mean, I also saw this. Someone else posted saying that's a hard no or no, and he quoted you. I don't know.
Yeah,
who did
what were
that.
they? I know. Can you believe that?
I think it was Raquel actually that
It
did
was Raquel.
Where's my
I can't find it.
cheesecake?
There's so many comments flying by right now. But I guess okay, guys, hold on. Let us pull our buddy in. Hold on. Ready, set, go. Oh wait, hold on.
Yes.
Dude. Man, I had the whole show lined up. I'm on my hotspot, so hopefully that works a little bit. Can you see me? Can you hear me? You okay?
Mhm.
We got you.
All right. So what did I miss? Did we go over who Claire looks like yet, or no? Were you
No.
saving that?
No, we were
I'm
talking
so
about music.
scared. I'm scared of this one. We're talking about favorite bands, and what was the question, Sia? Who would you see if you could, but you can't anymore?
Yes. Oh, I found it, Brian. Just no.
Yes. I know. But what was that? What was she saying that to? What did I say stupid?
I have no idea. Girls, I'm so far behind on comments. Like, I'm trying to catch up. But yeah, Mike, is there anyone in concert you've never seen that you've always wanted to see?
I only went to one concert, and that was when I was probably 8, and that was Lone Wolf, the Hank concert. Like I just oh no, I take that back. I worked at Hullabaloo, whatever that is. I worked security for that to help a friend, and that's why I don't have any friends anymore. All right, got that close. Yeah, they expected me to argue. They expect me to argue with the ABC branch, the alcohol and all that, the branch of the. So yeah, city cops were trying to use their badge and authority to get by, and I was supposed to stop them for like what $2 on a donation. No, I don't think so. Right, life's too short.
Adios.
All right. Yeah, I was the worst security guard ever. So no, I don't do concerts. I'm not cool like Sia. I just watched a lot of weird TV land shows.
He's
Explains a
more
lot, doesn't
into
it?
he's
It's
more
like,
into like, ballet and those type musicals and that type of stuff.
that's Michael Gale.
Yeah.
That's not
Okay.
me. That's Michael Gale. He likes to fight bears, and the more bears he fights, apparently the more poetic he gets. If you've seen his post today, I put that on there. And dude, I wouldn't talk that smack if he lived local, right? He's like, come to Minnesota. I'm like, why? Like, who goes to Minnesota like, on purpose? Like, I have lots of friends there. It's cold. I'm this big around. It's not a good combination. All right. So like a chihuahua in the Arctic. But yeah, I love my Minnesota folks. I just don't want to go there and swim in snow. All right. So
Minnesota.
um it's still snowing there. Like it's what is almost June, man. They still wear sweaters. That's not normal. I don't want to go there. All right. So where are we at now? See, we had all kind of fun and games and promos, and like the whole day
We
just
haven't
went
done any of
by. What do
those,
we do
but I
now?
did run the intro. I ran the intro.
All right, there's a win. Thank you.
I was a
Good
girl. I
job.
ran the intro. All right. Well, if you want
Dude,
to,
you
real
are
quick, guys, if you're kosher, can we do some quick promos because we want to like shout out some folks? Is that cool? Excellent, excellent. So I'm just gonna run it because that's what I
I'll
do. So
allow it.
Mike,
Did
All
you see
right.
Claire? Her head nodded yes, but her face said no. That's okay. I like you, Claire.
no, we
Good
haven't
people.
seen Claire yet. We're promoting our friends.
Okay. 50 inspirational connections. I don't know if you've heard of this, but CJ, Dr. Constance, she's like I tease her. I call her Apollo Creed. Remember Apollo? He had all them names, But anyway, our beloved CJ is fantastic, and she's got this great idea for 50 inspirational people connections. You can nominate folks, or you can nominate yourself. If you watch the video, go to her profile. I'm not going to repeat all that. She's smart. It's all there in little easy to digest bullet points. Go to her profile. Constance Leland, Dr. Constance Leland, and Nicole. Okay, they're like the double mint twins, right? So you get one, you get the other. Go check it out. But it's an amazing initiative to showcase and spotlight other people. It's amazing how a guy in a camo hat just says, I need to love people and help them because I don't have any friends if I don't. And now it's caught on because of all these people like Bryan, like Claire, all these great folks who just, yeah, we want to do business. We want to make money. But why do we have to not, we want to play at that next level relationships. We want to be close to people. We want to drop the facade, drop the tough guy act, all that stuff. So CJ's got this. Go check this out. This is amazing. I'm not going to talk too much. I want you to go see her, show her some love. She is all about pushing up people in her business and her academia, teaching, all that stuff. She is a rock star. And if you haven't been under a rock, or maybe you're brand new, Nicole is fantastic. Poor thing, like broke her knee in the worst way, and it changed her daggum life. Like now she's Arthur on her second book and all this crazy thing. So life threw her lemons, and she made a damn lemonade empire quickly. So we are super proud of her. Yeah, dadgummit, drink, take a sip. And we just go check these ladies out, man. They got so much good stuff. They are the epitome of and personification of what the Hounds is about. Pushing up people, getting things done. And then not just you, good for you for getting to the next level, for reaching success or goal. But then what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to reach back and help someone up that's, yeah, there you go. Pull them with you, right? Right. That's the whole thing. It's not about me. Okay, me. But the only way I get what I want is to help other people get what they want. That has to be the easiest way to describe what the Hounds is all about. So these two, picture perfect. Go check it out. They're going to talk about this regularly. Engage in the conversation. Ask good questions. Make faces. Move around the ring. You know how to do it. All right. So go see CJ and Nicole. Love you, ladies. See, that took me off. I'm like the dog when you gave the dog two food bowls side by side. You don't know which one to. Yeah. That's my internet went out, and I'm like Elmer Fudd, Porky Pig over here. All right, so who's next?
Speaking
Nicole,
of Nicole,
again. Yeah, so I broke my knee. I decided that I might want to write, maybe for money one day, if anybody would pay me. And look what's happened. All right, second book anthology, and hey, people who are interested, the topic is self-love. There's incredible people in this book with different takes on life and on the subject matter. I would imagine, Supermom has been in these before, Lachelle. Again, I'm not going to spoil you. Go see. Dude, there are so many opportunities, and don't make the excuses I can't afford it or I don't have the time and all that stuff. Better yet, ask yourself, is this helpful to me? Is this something that's been on my mind? All right. Maybe it was too expensive. Maybe you didn't have the time. But the time is now. So go check out her post. All right. This is coming soon, but she's posting about these things. And you guys need to be watching the content, watching what's going on, because there's a lot of good little perks. They do a lot of things to include folks. So I don't want to hear your excuses. Go check out her profile and find out what this is all about, because the clock is ticking on this. These ladies move fast. So we appreciate her. And a lot of hounds are going to be in there as well. And last but certainly not least, probably the only reason people still know I exist, because Miss Raquel, right? Raquel Flores, in her connection corner, Adriana, is that 2 Adrianas?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Hey,
messed up.
that's slick. Hey, I might have like a panel of Claires next week. I always got to try to challenge her. All right. So Adriana, Rales and Dawson, go check this out. If you haven't seen Raquel's show, what time is it this Saturday? I forgot.
10 a.m.
Not
Central Standard,
10.
11
10
a.m.
a.m.
Eastern. It's like
Yeah,
a
I mean,
QVC show. That's funny. Sorry.
I just can't wait
Yeah,
until
go.
Raquel, Mike, I have to interrupt you. I had Raquel in my house.
Sure.
She stayed here and she let me do a little, 3-minute promo on her show. I can't wait till she invites me on as a real guest. That'll be my dream. That'll be better than seeing Elvis in concert.
Well, guys, I will say this much.
Dude.
Raquel's got a lot planned for this Saturday's show. These are extraordinary women, Latina women, and the funner part of it all is we are literally having a representative from the West Coast, Central, and East
Oh,
Coast.
that's
So
awesome.
so you'll see some more promotion coming out this week, and it's going to be literally coast to coast.
Coast to coast.
Latina women taking over and being successful and all that good stuff. Sharing the love.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm super, super proud of her. I mean, again, just somebody who has a big heart, been through a lot of crap in life, and she just don't know how to give up, man. The little engine who could, aka Raquel Flores, right? She's special. I mean, again, because she won't give up, and she did the painstaking, move forward, uncomfortable sacrifices that it takes to be successful, and she is on her way, exploding on that, getting clarity. Well, I mean, we got people in the hounds, right? Like we got the best of the best, right? I mean, we got Tanya Eberhardt. I mean, dude, so much good things going on here. It all boats rise, but we're rising like crazy, because we're being very intentional now about what we do and who we do it with and what we're all about. We're defining that. So super excited. Go check out Raquel. She is fantastic and always pushing people up. All right. So, hey, I got it all. And, now my notes say pull up Claire, but hey, Claire, you're already here. So
Okay.
what we'll do instead of pull up Claire, we'll just kind of
Do you
pick
wanna
on
do the-
Claire a little bit, because
Yeah.
Oh gosh,
I haven't seen her coming back, so we
Oh.
might as well wear her out, right?
I'm nervous too, and I'm just listening. Shit.
I know, geez. Oh, it's gonna be like a WWE wrestler, some kind
All
of.
right, so
Set it up. Tee it up, sir. Tee
Ric
it up.
Flair.
I want to ask the audience. All right, so we're gonna get really weird here, because hey, we've had 30
Aw,
minutes
thanks,
without my
Randy.
stupid. All right, so we've got Randy. Randy, you got to play. Nobody else wants to do. Bobby, you got to play with too. All right, so who? Now remember, I was born in '81. All right, birthday's next week. All right, shameless plug. All right, I'm turning 20 again. So I had the weirdest like kid crush on people on TV, like actresses and stuff, right? So I want to know who, and yours ain't weird, Brian. You can't go with that one. That makes me mad at you. But who is it that you had a crush on, but you didn't want to tell nobody, or you think it's weird? So what should we do? First of all, Claire reminded me of somebody from the '90s, and I couldn't put my finger on it until Sia said it.
Oh,
But
yeah.
that's
Okay.
definitely not the weirdest one. The weirdest one, you Sia, should I tell everybody and then ask them what their weird one is?
Wait. Okay, so you're not going to give the answer because we're going to definitely quiz people here
Got it.
On
of what
Claire,
she is.
right?
But I'm curious though. I would be
His other
curious
one.
to see who everyone's child crushes were though before we pull up, Claire.
Mm.
This is interesting.
So okay, Claire, you're first as
Yeah.
we're picking on you. Who was your childhood crush?
Jonathan Taylor Thomas. Anybody remember him?
You are young.
Oh, I'm so old.
He was in Home
Oh.
Improvement.
Yes.
The weird.
He had
you know,
those dimples.
Oh, so handsome. And we it just so happened that the woman who ran the school that I went to when I was, in primary and grade school was his babysitter. And so then I had these false hopes, like one day I would meet my heartthrob. I never did. Sad story. That was it.
Yeah, but Bryan did.
Yeah, Bryan, yours is like a great one.
Yeah, mine is Sandra Bullock. So yeah, oddly, she when I was younger lived close enough that with binoculars I could see her from my backyard. And so my mom used to get mad at me when Sandra Bullock was out by the pool, and I was like, Mom, it's not my fault. I mean, it's Sandra Bullock. What am I supposed to do? So yeah, Sandra Bullock for sure. She lived in San Antonio for a little while. Yeah, I mean, I'm not ashamed of it. What can I say?
Keanu has he's just actually, I like him better older than I did younger. I didn't care for him younger in the 90s. I didn't care for his Bill and Ted days.
He's the real deal.
That's too funny. Okay, so like so many people. Oh, here we go. So James Patrick, I know, James, what you're saying. Joe from The Facts of Life. Nancy McKeon.
Me,
David Bowie, nice.
Oh, James.
Johanna.
Yeah.
Oh, Labyrinth. No, that's not a weird kid. Did you see him in those tights, girl? You were onto something.
Dude, yeah.
Oh.
You met him in
Remember the
person.
song?
Huh.
Remember the song David Bowie and who was it? God, the guy from Keith Richards. No, not Keith Richards, the other one. They did a like a music video together in like silk shirts. It was ridiculous. Oh my gosh. Back in the 80s, yeah. David Bowie in tights.
Oh,
Incredible.
Again, he's another one that I thought aged like wine, man. He just got better as he got older. Look, I love all these different, like Selma Hayek.
Wait a minute.
We had let's see, Tom Cruise. We've got who
I didn't
else
tell
here?
you my weirdest yet, though, Sia. My weirdest one.
Because you know why? I'm pushing you off because I don't want people to run away in fear with what you're about to say, weirdo.
I'm so worried too. I signed the non-disclosure, by the way.
Did we? Okay, can we all wait? Did everyone hit the applause for us that you will not cancel Mike the second you hear this, please? We got a lot of Kirk Camerons here.
There's a lot of them, but this one here, even I'm looking at myself like, how are you gonna? Nah, you shouldn't tell nobody. It's just weird. It's not bad. It's just weird.
I'm weird too. Okay, so Mike,
Joe
yes, please do.
from The Facts of Life. Joe from The Facts of Life also. But this, I think it's weirder than that one. Weirder than Joe from The Facts of Life. Thank you, James Patch.
Susan Sarandon's gorgeous.
Oh my God.
All right. So go ahead and show it whenever you're ready. You're running the show because I just come in like uninvited.
Oh, you uninvited to your own show? I know. Okay, so everyone, quiz time.
Bloom.
Left or right? And write it out down as left or right. Which one is Claire M. Davis?
Nice.
Left or right?
See if I can get the
And
hair
Claire's
right.
hair is
Right.
way
Hold on.
better.
And bonus points if you know who the person is that is not Claire M. Davis.
Remember the shoulder pads? I remember those days.
I literally have
Le-
that shirt.
I
I
love
love
that
Left
shirt.
and right
Pads.
Twix. Left and
I
right
love-
Twix. That's what
I
I'm
love
looking
both
at.
the shirts, you guys. Woo! And by the
Thank
way,
you.
shoulder pads are a very popular thing amongst ladies of a certain demographic because our shoulders droop. Because
I
we're
love
old.
them.
Floridians wear that? Really? I didn't know.
Oh
that.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm not
wow.
wearing it like we're not wearing it like
God.
straight up 80s style, but
So, all right. I can't even
Okay.
remember who this is.
Orlando Bloom for you, Mike? No, is that because you never did say?
You told me because I
my
was like,
God.
who does she remind me of? And I was naming off like bad examples, and you're like, I know who it is. I'm like, yes, but I don't care what actor's names.
Excuse me. Did you guys see Natalie Bon Jovi? How I heard he's a really nice guy. She shopped with the band.
Oh, cool.
Oh
That's
wow.
awesome.
All right, so the
I'm a-
answers are trailing in, guys.
No one knows who it is?
Oh. Jodie Foster.
I
Hey,
can't tell.
Paul Deitch. And
We got a lot of lefts here.
Well, if
A
people don't know
lot of
which one
lefts.
is Claire, I'm going
I
to be
was gonna-
highly concerned because this is like, this is not a Rorschach test. I mean, we're not looking at ink stains here. I mean,
I think. Okay, this is how I know Raquel is a superstar. Like she needed to go in politician.
Mm-hmm.
Both
That's
are
it.
superstars.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's
Mhm.
that's political. That's, yeah, talk about beating around the bush.
Yeah. And of course, Constance. Wait a second. My left or
Oh.
yours?
Ooh, very good. Just like spoken like a true doctor. I love it.
Hmm.
And then,
Yeah.
but this has nothing to do with the pictures. Is this the one you want me to show?
Oh gosh.
Robert Berry, man, what? Look,
I know.
look
What is
like,
going on with that? Stone cold. You know what's
Stone
funny?
Cold.
Actually, listen. So this is funny. So he lived in San Antonio for a while, and when I was in high school, he used to come to our high school wrestling matches because his son wrestled in the city. And it was just so funny that it was like real wrestling, and he was like not a real wrestler, and it was so funny. Like I don't know. That's random, but yeah.
Hey, if
That
Stone
is hella
Cold,
cool.
if Stone Cold and Bob Saget had a baby, his name was Mike Ashton.
Check, please.
Just look,
That's
Trevor
funny. Okay.
Tolman. Trevor Tolman's here. Hey, Robert Berry, it's past bedtime, man. It's too late for you. You're too funny.
Shania
So-
Twain. Look, I'm not into women, but Shania was gorgeous. Like she still is gorgeous. Trevor, I can and shall agree with you.
She's still touring. Someone just told me they went to her show. She was great.
Beast.
Incredible.
Yes,
sweet Jesus.
yes,
Look,
yes.
Dale Rodriguez and Robert Berry. We gotta kick them out. Where's the kick out button?
What? Not a wrestler? What? You for shame? We're all disappointed. Mike was a
Dale?
firefighter, though, guys. For those that have that kind
Yeah.
of happiness about them.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Where were you a firefighter, Mike?
It was Zonction, so it was right south of Louisville, right on the border of Jefferson County and Bullitt. And then I went to Shepherdsville, which was like going from Beverly Hills or Malibu to where I'm at now. So it was a culture shock. Yeah, they're like, here's a bucket and here's the water. This is how we do it here. Like no truck,
Yeah.
no truck here. just a whole bunch of
amazing.
happy faces and water brigade. All right,
Does everybody line up? Oh. Nice.
Okay, so I know we've been laying in this, holding this far too long. Okay, so wait, I really should label my damn soundboard, people. I am so sorry. Never mind. Oh yeah, no, that wasn't a joke. But anyway, okay, without further ado, it is left. Oh wait, left.
yeah, but who's the office lady?
Okay, but no one guessed. Hello.
I know.
Anyone to guess who
Tell
the
us now.
person is on the right?
Midnight.
Come on, everybody. Come on.
Okay, I'm
You guys
gonna
know
I'm gonna
it.
do one last trivia music, and then we're gonna tell. Do we
Oh,
know
no.
she was in a 90s sitcom? Starred
Claire?
as a couple with a husband who was brunette.
Hey, Claire,
And-
send us a picture of you in the 90s so we next week we can, because I guarantee you, wow, dude. Or just dress like that now and take a picture. You nailed
I
it.
will. I actually have.
Oh, that might be. Is that who
Oh.
that is?
That is not her, but
Who
she's
is
gorgeous. So does anybody? Okay,
Who is-
Brian, I know you'll know this answer. This woman is married the nephew. So this woman in the black married the nephew of the lead singer of Oingo Boingo.
Oh.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I know who it is, but I just can't think of it. But yeah, that
Oh.
band
Okay, here's
is
another
just-
ultimate throw,
God.
guys. Her name is Dharma on the show.
Oh,
Mm.
I just can't. I can't come up with anything other than
Oh,
Claire.
yeah, Dharma and Greg.
Mhm.
Just
Ah.
tell us. We can't handle it.
Mike's like, I'm done.
I know.
Okay, guys.
Mike's having to take a Valium over there.
I know. It's Jenna Elfman, everybody.
Oh, wow.
Jenna.
I said that like I
Elfman.
know.
She's
Well, it's
one
like
of those
those
women
TV
who like
obs-
doesn't age. You know what I mean? Like she looks
yeah.
the same every decade.
She does.
Yeah.
Oh, look at
Her and
Natalie
I are so
got
lucky.
it.
Nice.
Oh, look at everyone
Natalie.
saying it now. Everyone's saying it now after the fact. Of course, we
I
give
know,
you
look
like
at
the
that.
answer.
Uh-huh.
Hey, can I tell them the weirdest childhood crush? Can I tell you that?
Yes, you can. Let's go ahead and bring it back up so we can put you in Zoom and like really frighten everyone equally. There we go. Go for it.
It's not that I don't think it's just weird, man. You got to remember, like I was probably 8 or something, right? Like spent a lot of time with grandma, so it wasn't a lot on Andy Griffith. All right, I'm gonna tell y'all can ride me. I don't care. Just do it in the comments. At least help me while you're gonna ride on me. Murphy Brown.
Oh, Candice Bergen's hot.
Candice
Okay.
Bergen's. That makes me think of the Seinfeld episode where Kramer went on to Murphy Brown.
Yeah, he was typing. Yeah, I saw that the other day. I'm watching Seinfeld all day. That's what I do.
I know
all day.
every line. It's sad.
Oh,
Dude, Murphy Brown.
Murphy Brown.
Murphy Brown.
Interesting choice.
Yeah.
You know what? She's a strong
Dude.
female. Like I could see you liking that, Mike.
Very strong.
Everybody knows that. I mean, like I probably say this 6 to 7 times daily when I meet women, professional women. I say, I bet you scare the shit out of timid men, don't you? And they're like, yeah, sometimes. I'm joking. I'm not. So I don't do when I met you. So I told everybody's story when I met you. I come in the room and our good old Mikey, he says, look, there's a strong, powerful woman. Let me go fight her. And you two just started fighting like Royal Rumble style. And I'm sitting there like, wow, this is great. Like I didn't want to go. I thought it was gonna be boring. This is not boring. And so what I do, I reached out to you right after. And I was like, do you remind me of my mom and grandma? Like, hey, we got to talk. Like, so yeah, that's how you become OG Hound. That's
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, there's nothing because you know why? Because nothing pleasures a female's ego more than to be told you remind me of my mother and grandmother, and you remind me of a 65-year-old Texas CEO man.
CEO.
What was it?
Oil
What was
baron.
it? What
Oil
was that?
baron.
Oil baron.
Oil
What was that
baron.
other text?
Well,
you
I
sent
mean
me?
that one might turn my buttons a little bit. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, a Texas
Turn my
oil
buttons.
baron who's got deep pockets. I'm just saying.
I'll roll with that, right? And there's nothing like
Well,
receiving
it's-
text messages that says "Love you, tired lady face."
Oh, she is. Now,
Speaking
because
of
you're a hardworking professional, and I respect you. See, now you're gonna turn around on me. That's mean. Because look, man, what Dale? Dale, it's past your bedtime, man. It's like 1 a.m. over there.
He's going
What
for
are you doing?
animated. You went animated, Jessica Rabbit, but who didn't?
Oh, Jessica Rabbit.
Come on, dude.
Yeah, that was
Jessica
like
Rabbit
that was some of the original
versus
AI.
versus Murphy Brown, dude. You might as well throw Sybil up there against Jessica Rabbit. Come on, dude. Like, what are you talking about? All right. Yeah, the Soaring Prophets, man. We got to get these guys are fun, dude. Like, I can't wait. I'm going on their show soon. So James Patrick, I appreciate you. And I see you on the show. It's fantastic. All right. So are we gonna actually talk about these two? Or are we just gonna like what? I don't even know what to do. My internet went dead and so did my brain. I was ready.
I know. I was wondering. We definitely got to get to the meat, right?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
So let's go. Mike, please prop up your beautiful guest.
Yeah. So,
Hey.
well, we already did. We're gonna prop up Miss Claire M. Davis again. Now, look, she's not coming back, so I'm just gonna go ahead and just go home with this, right? I'm not stupid. So Becky Wolf, all right, my best little buddy, and then even Jessica Zampedri and all kind of other people kept saying, "Oh, Claire, 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 Claire," and they did a similar thing with Dr. Z, Miriam, right? And so you just hear this buzz around people, and you're like, "Well, I got to go see them." But anybody who knows me, Claire, knows that if I go and message Claire, Claire's going to put me in the spam box or block, right? That's pretty much like if I show up without uninvited, that's what happens. So I go out there and I do little things, right? And I make people smile and I bring them value, and then I disappear and then I come back and do it again. And so I did this for what most people it takes a couple of days. Claire had to be 2 months. Like I almost forgot. Like, and then all of a sudden, Claire, didn't call the police like she should have. She just like went gushy gush in the daggum. What are you doing?
In the DMs.
Oh my God, I'm live. Yeah, in the DM.
this.
Somebody's walking in here. Shut the door, please. All right, so this whole day, man, I had this planned out. So in the DM, she just went crazy with a whole bunch of us. And again, that's what it's about, right? You don't go jumping in the fishing hole. You go throw bait out there and see and bring people value, right? That's what happened here. So anyway, I just thought it was a cute story. Probably not that cute. So welcome, Claire. 40 minutes later, welcome to the show. The internet's out. So you have you have your first career. Let me see if I can get this right, because this whole day has just knocked me on my butt. All right, so let me get it right. People are distracting me right now.
There's
You
a
had
lot.
5 layoffs. You were in medical sales.
Right.
You had you and what did you do in medical sales? Did you also do you recruited 4 companies in that, right? So you had to go through a lot of resumes. Am I getting this?
Oh yeah, and kudos for remembering even parts of the story, Mike, because honestly, it was a really bumpy ride. When I started my career, it was in pharma recruiting. And so I thought wherever I would go in my career, I would have like the world on a string because I grew up interviewing and job searching and helping people put together brag books from doing resumes at 13. I was the only 13-year-old that I know that actually brought a brag book to her volunteer city job interview. So like, I was in it to win it. And so I ended up getting into medical sales myself after graduating from school, and ended up going through 5 different layoffs. So, for anybody here who's been through
Wow.
layoffs, please feel free to, hey, Steve, so good to see you. Say hey, and connect with me, because that's a really tough place to be in. And so I feel for people right now. Layoffs they're still happening, and but the only good news about it is that now no one's a stranger to that conversation. So it's
Right.
it used to be a little bit of a taboo topic, but now, I mean, if it hasn't happened to us personally, often we know people who have been laid off in our circle. So that's,
So you could have went for job number 6 though. And we're going to get into this a little heavy, but I want to kind of set the
yeah.
stage. Well, so what you're just like, look, 6 is too many. I don't want to do this again. I mean, you looked at like what 16,000 resumes or something through your career. So was
Yes.
it an aha moment, or how did you come to just not looking for another job? Like, what made you do this on your own?
Oh, that's such a good question. So I think sometimes things just find you, right? So
Mhm.
when I went through all those different career transitions, because of the foundation I had in recruiting and in sales and with a degree in marketing myself, it became a natural part of how I would help my friends and family. And so when I was employed as a medical sales representative, people were still asking me for help with their interviews. When I was in marketing, people were still saying, hey, I don't know what a brag book is, but my manager is saying if I want this promotion, I need to put one together. And so they would reach out. And it was always just part of what I was doing with my friends and family, was helping them. And then it would be friends and family and their friends, and then friends and family and their friends and their colleagues. And so finally, when I ended up getting laid off, going through the 5th layoff, um, ironically, that one didn't end up being the end of my position. So I was on the conference call with my 9 colleagues, and I'd been through this so many times. But this time I had a plan because I've done this so many times. And so while we waited on the conference call for our boss to click back over and let us know if our jobs were safe or not, I sat there and gave my colleagues my plan. I said, hey, you've done this a ton of times. Here's what you want to do first. Grab these contacts, get your data. This is how, and this is how you go and connect with people to find your next job. And it worked so well for them. So when I finally ended up staying home, at that point, I was pregnant with my first son, and I decided to stay home and raise him. But those calls kept coming. People still really needed help
Mm.
with resumes and interviews, and so eventually we made it a business, because it was, spending half my full day on doing resumes and coaching friends and family and colleagues. And so here we are now. That's sort of how it all came about. It just sort of found us, really.
Yeah, so it also sounds like you're a little bit sick and tired of being sick and tired. So the two kind of came together, right? Because I mean, if you're
Yeah.
like me, you're not like, hey, I'm gonna go quit my job, start this thing, and make tons of money. You may,
Yeah.
if you may think that, but whoo, that's not what happens. I'm sitting here 6 months later, going, wow, this is really hard. And I'm not naive. I thought it would be hard, but honestly, harder for me, Claire, would
Mhm.
be to go back and get a job or work with another partner. That's harder than hard, right? So
Mhm.
everybody's like, it's hard. So, dude, you're either choosing or you're either changing or choosing, right? So
Yeah.
it's whatever it is, and love it. So we're not going to dive too far, but I do want to make sure, since I'm on a roll, and I have a couple cheat sheets too. So your company's name is Traction Resume.
Oh yeah, yeah. So if we haven't met, and I
Yeah.
know a lot of hounds are here, which is amazing. So we probably know each
Yeah.
other, quite a few of us. But for those of us who we haven't met yet, so I'm Claire Davis, and I run Traction Resume. And what we do is we help people who are in medical sales get great jobs and make more money through those promotions, through those wonderful jobs that they get, through resumes, LinkedIn profiles, and interview prep. So one thing I can say though is that when I saw, you're talking about your group and how I jumped into the DMs probably 3 months ago and had to just tell you guys how impressive it was to watch you support each other online, because a large part of what I do is teaching people how to network again because they haven't had to do it in a while. So
Right.
it can be that, you've been thriving in a med tech company for 20 years and you're up in leadership and you've got promotions all the way through, so you haven't even needed to do it. And then you get laid off and we're feeling like we have to start back at square one. Or, it's one of those things where you try biotech for a while, or you go into nursing for a while, and then you say, you know what, but I also have that business development mindset. I want to pivot into this new industry. How do I
Right.
do it? Where do I start? So what
Dr.
you guys
Claire.
have created here with the hounds is really spectacular. It's really incredible, and
Oh.
it's so real. You can feel it. It's incredible.
Yeah, it got
Yeah.
your attention. Like that's the
Yeah.
benchmark. Like who pays attention, who wants to be a part of. And again, I mean,
Mhm.
what's the parameters? Have a goal bigger than most people, right? Like want to be somebody, do something special, help others. Again, make money. What am I going to do with the money? Invest it into stuff so I can make more money, help more people. I can't help people
Yeah.
if I don't have any time or money, right? Now, so
Right.
I'm setting Bryan up. He's going nuts. So Trevor said, Claire, how worried about AI are you in this? Will the higher end market stay with you?
Oh my gosh, that is such a good question, Trevor. So yes, I was incredibly I will not sugarcoat it. Though AI has been with us for a long time, I mean, Netflix will basically tell you what you want next, right? But
Right.
when ChatGPT became an open source platform and everyone was, easily able to access it, I was nervous. Like, will storytelling end with AI? Will real authentic content end with AI? I was terrified. That's my poor husband. He was like, "You're in a state." But I thought, you know what? I'm a little bullheaded when it comes to things that scare me or challenge me. Take it after you go through a lot of getting kicked to the curb in your career. Once you've been through lots of layoffs, you see a challenge and you just run at it like a buffalo, kind of.
Right.
So when AI became really open source for all of us, I thought I'm going to dive in and I'm going to get to know it first. And so I've taken classes on it. I've tried it myself. And I will say, as nervous as I was, storytelling is never going away. And as far as I can tell, as well as I've learned how to prompt and how to leverage AI and how to use the chatbots and to use the different softwares that incorporate the chatbot, I've tried to write resumes
Yeah.
with AI just to see if they even compare. It's not even close. One, you can
No.
always tell. And two, technology, and even if it's AI and it's a language development model, so we won't go too down the rabbit hole, but even if it is a model that's supposed to anticipate what a human would say, it still doesn't know your story. So unless you feed it your story and all the particulars that make you you, it can't even come
Mhm.
close. So what I do use AI for is helping me with tax management. It's really a wonderful tool with helping to set up a networking routine, or if you want to ask for really, kind of the boilerplate interview questions and have it sort of go tete-a-tete with you, you can use it for that kind of thing. But I really discourage anyone from using it for writing, creative writing or
Yeah.
storytelling, because it doesn't touch it. And what can happen as well is if you put any information, say you work for a multi-million-dollar company and you've got some really sensitive figures that only you are going to put on your resume, you don't want that out to the masses. If you put that in ChatGPT, like if you put some of those details in there, you could be liable for it. So, people have lost their jobs over putting sensitive information into ChatGPT, just trying to see if they can leverage the technology. So,
Dude.
yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
I had to write a bio, and there's no way ChatGPT or AI can hold a candlestick to Miss Raquel Flores. I'm telling you, dude. Like I've read that, I said, "Wow." No, everybody who's read my new bio said who wrote it because they know I didn't write it. Right? Some of my content started to get better. I was like, "Look, tell them you wrote my content." Like everybody's gonna look at this, and go, "That hillbilly did not write this anyway." So you might as well win-win. I think it, you make it. That's how it works. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, and by the way, today's AI, great, AI can use it, but there's always, at least until I die, I'm pretty sure, it's always going to have to be people behind the AI. And so,
Right.
like Google. So people, oh, well, you can Google money, right? You can Google finance. So why do I
Mhm.
exist? Because it's like Googling God, 8 billion Google search pages. How do you sort through that? There's
Mhm.
so many pages, so much stuff. What's relevant? What's not? And that's where today's professional comes in. So that's what I think on Trevor's question, Claire, is that yeah, AI can crap out some stuff there. It might be good stuff, but is it better than you? Yeah, it
Mm.
probably not. Is it? Can we? And let's get real. Resumes? Are you serious? Building a network, which me and you both teach, will circumvent that. There's better people.
Right.
I've beaten better people at this before, and I've lost the worst because of the connections and all the other things that make us human.
Right.
So we had a question, or was there a real quick? Um,
I did see a question
real quick.
about resume tips.
He has like
Yeah.
two. He had two questions for you, so
Well, but
we'll kind of make it quick.
Sure.
yeah,
Okay.
give me the bullet points.
Okay. I'm going to answer this one in a different way because I want to tell you what to do. And I don't want to rip on your resume because it is hard enough to write them. So let me tell you what to do so that you can turn your strategy to one that turns your resume from a chronological list of history and things you've ever done to a sales page for yourself. So that's a mindset shift we all have to make. It's just basic marketing. And we have to remember we are the product. We are the product, and the client, the customer, is the hiring team. Okay. So the top 3 things I would recommend you do, and I'm just going to give you my formula that after looking at those 16,000 medical sales resumes that Mike mentioned earlier, these patterns emerged. Like once you do something so many times, patterns just start to crop up.
Right.
And there are 3 things that were the same within all the resumes that were getting scooped up out of the pile and shoved into that interview versus those that were getting sort of, pushed to the side and stacked back up. And the 3 things were you had to have a great story, good style, and focused statistics. So story, style, and statistics, when you get that trifecta together, that's when you start turning that document into a marketing piece for yourself. And that's when you start really getting the momentum, which you can't recreate with ChatGPT. Okay.
Right.
So you've got to think through what is keeping that hiring manager up at night. So when you write that story, it's here's what I'm great at uniquely, and here's why it matters to companies like yours. Okay, so that's story. Style is what is going to be familiar to this hiring team. What kind of color, what kind of brand, what kind of look, feel, language. Lean into the law of familiarity and you will win. And the third thing is you really want to focus on statistics. And this is where most people do start to kind of lose the wheels on the truck when they go through their career, is we forget to quantify things outside of what the company is going to give to us. And if you're in a position that's not sales, you may not be getting these kinds of things anyway. So you have to start looking at your experience as what can I measure that would matter and what has the impact looked like in terms of numbers. And a quick way to do this is on every bullet on your resume, add 2 words. Okay, so you're looking at your resume, you've got your job title, your company, and you've got your bullets of what you've done. Add the words resulting in at the end of each bullet. and it will prompt you in your mind to analyze what was the result, and you'll have to answer it. So if you can answer resulting in, you are good. But if not, add those 2 little words to help to capture what that impact was. So those are my 3 tips.
Oh, wow. See, I hope
Easy
everybody's
peasy.
taking notes. I don't have bandwidth right now, so I don't know what's happening. I think somebody's watching, and I hope they are, because this is, man, this is what you give away for free. Sweet Jesus, right? Like, that's what I love about this. Like, my goodness, like it's like watching reading a book. I mean, this is good stuff, man. This is not fluff, just the mindset. And that's, I would add the same thing to networking mindset.
Mhm,
If you get this figured out and focus on what it is, it makes it the how to a whole lot easier, right?
mhm.
So Bryan, what is now look,
What was it? The
man, this
most
is
BS
not my day.
question, I think.
Yeah.
The
What,
most BS you've ever
Dale
been
asked,
asked, man.
what's the worst BS question, Bryan, that you've been asked? Interview.
If you were a cereal, what kind of cereal would you be?
Mr. T, but somebody really asked you that?
In a medical
Mr.
school
T
interview.
cereal.
No.
Yep. Yeah, they
Okay.
did. I've got a lot of other ones too that I won't mention, but that's one of them. Yep. And I had to mess with them, so I said Fruity Pebbles.
Fruity Pebbles.
Wait.
No,
Oh.
no, I actually said Captain Crunch because that's my favorite. And I don't care if
Mm.
it cuts the roof of your mouth, bring it on.
Just the roof. Yeah, sandpaper for your breakfast.
Mm.
Which is what Mr. T cereal basically it was all Captain Crunch, wasn't it? I mean, it was the
Pretty
same
much.
crap. Yeah, so yeah, at least I had that. So Bryan, welcome. Appreciate the Wi-Fi goes out. I turn into Porky Pig, so you're a good guy. So go ahead and tell the people, because the people haven't heard your story, right? So start at happy guy, wife, bought a house, surgeon, right? So the
Yeah.
dream, and you were just going to do that until you retire, like all surgeons and people that do what you do mostly do. But that's not what happened. All right, so I don't
Nope.
want to shortchange and cheat the story. You got to tell us what this story, because I love it. Everybody else love it
Yeah,
too.
yeah. Yeah, it's a doozy. You can't make it up. I mean, so like I
Oh,
was, I went through my whole career, all my training, working 120 hours a week. It was completely miserable doing all this stuff my whole life leading up to this one goal. And then I became the residency director at Georgetown, with the youngest residency director actually at the time, and was at the pinnacle of my career, was loving life. We had vacation houses, cars, all the stupid stuff that people think success is. And I'll explain how it's not later. But everything was going great. And then I lost my dad to his second round of lung cancer. And basically, we had this family business in Texas. There was a plumbing, heating, and air conditioning company that my parents started without high school degrees and had built to one of the biggest companies in Texas. And my mom just crumbled when my dad passed away. They were like high school sweethearts. They did everything together, ran the business together, and she was not able to function, much less keep the company together. So my wife and I had just bought a house, literally. We just put 20% down on a red brick house in Georgetown, which was not cheap. And we still had stuff in boxes. And I basically walked away from my career. We sold the house and moved back to Texas to help mom take over the family business. And then I did that. We built the company. Fortunately for us, during COVID, I hate to say it, but a lot of businesses suffered, but the trade industries really took off because people were stuck at home. So trade companies blossomed. And so our business grew like triple after triple after triple for about 2 or 3 years. And we sold it for like 12 times EBITDA. Mom retired.
oh,
And then I basically was doing nothing. And my wife said, get out of the house, find something to do. You're annoying me. And I said, okay, honey, I love you so much. Let me find something to do. And so then during that time, I became like a writer and a publisher for a medical device company. I actually know Claire from a long time ago, and she is good at what she says she does because I know firsthand. And she never sent me a bill. I'm still waiting. But my point is that, we all go through these transitions in life. And what you guys need to understand is that a transition is nothing more than change, right? And when you go through change in life, it sucks. It's really hard. And your brain at a physical level does not want you to do something different than what you do every single day, right? Because humans, the biggest fear in humans is the 4-letter word fear. And so people don't want to change because your brain tells you that you can't change, right? But you really can change. And the most powerful resource on earth, period, the most powerful resource on earth is your mindset. The second most powerful resource on earth is other people, period. Those are the two things, believe me, or Tony Robbins, lots of people have said it. But the point is that if you really want to change, it starts with you. And so it's just incredible that, to go through all those transitions, to hear Claire go through her 5 layoffs, and to know that at the end of the day, no matter how much knowledge or information you have, everything comes from taking action. And if you don't take action, you don't get experience. And if you don't get experience, there's no wisdom, and things just stay thought and idea in your mind and never become reality. And the only way to make it happen is you have to do it yourself. And Claire is a great example of that. And that's what I'm all about now, is helping people realize that they have the power to do it. They just need to be supported and challenged. And that's what I'm here for.
Yeah, dude, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Hey, Claire, and if you guys want to interject when we have these, that's the point. Like, just go at it, man. This ain't CNN. You can say what you want.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Don't get me started. I'm kidding.
No, but Bryan, it's such, your story is such a testament to being resilient through those challenges, and then knowing that you could take a different avenue with your career. And that's where I think a lot of folks have been in a tailspin for the last 3 years at least through COVID, because everyone was shaken in some way, and they had to go up against that change you talk about that we hate to do as people, right? We don't want to change, but when we do, we're stronger than we know. And if
Right.
you use that time to learn and grow, then it's incredible what other options and what other opportunities are out there for you. So before you had to make those changes, did you believe that, did you ever have the inkling that maybe there was another career path that you'd be great at, or something else you were interested in? Or was it purely just, we've got to make a change and I'll have to figure it out along the way?
No, honestly, for me, it was a little bit of that, but honestly, it was, and not to sound cheesy or whatever, but I think the most important thing as a person that you ever can really experience is what is like real alignment, right? So if anyone here, and not a lot of people ever really experience this, like if you ever get clarity and alignment with like who you're actually really supposed to be, it is one of the most incredible feelings like ever in the world, right? Like you have this, it's like a euphoric moment, and then you just realize what you're supposed to do. And for me, it all started actually before my medical career, when I was still a professional athlete, and I had a coach that wasn't a coach for like sports, but it was a coach like what I am. And I realized at the time that lots of other people had like advisors and these teams of people all around them, right? Like they'd write their resumes, financial advisors, people like Mike, Claire, all these people. And the amazing thing is that all of these great minds throughout time were surrounded by people who were supporting them, challenging them, and giving them not knowledge, but just sharing stories of how they overcame similar circumstances. And so for me, it was literally 2 people in my life that told me like, everything that you've been through is so like ridiculously horrible that all of the stuff that you came through, just sharing that with other people can help them like overcome the same thing. And so for me, it was like, that was just a switch that went off. And I realized that I had been coaching people like my whole life, but it just never charged them for it. And so I know it sounds so corny, but for me, that was really where I actually figured out like, okay, this is who I'm supposed to be, and this is what I'm supposed to do. And then you just create this massive leverage, and then it just happens.
That's so much easier said than done, though. Like, how many people don't do that, right? In LinkedIn, it's weird. It's wild because you go on LinkedIn and see these lives. You're seeing a group of people constantly at different shows who do break the mold, who do leave the job and don't succumb to fear. But when you drive around your neighborhood, you go to your family reunion, you go everywhere, the vast majority of people haven't been there. They won't go that far. So what I want to ask is, and I want everybody's input, I want to go back a step further. I want to go back from when your mom was on her own running the business and you made a decision because look, you were a surgeon, right? You were still over there peeking on actresses when they're trying to sunbathe and stuff. So you could have done a lot of other things, man. Right? You could have just put her up in the, built her another house. So many other things and kept your job and your, lifestyle. So what the hell happened for you to say, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and just pack her and your wife? It's not just you. So like that's man, that those kind of stories and that kind of catalyst, that intrigues me beyond belief. So if you don't mind sharing, like, because that's a big deal. You
Yeah,
wouldn't be here right now had you have took the common road. What happened?
right. Yeah, so she was actually, and that was the biggest thing. And I talk about this a lot on LinkedIn. My wife, was working for three-letter agencies at the time, and she's always been a career professional, and she didn't hesitate with me either to make the decision either. And I think again, it goes back to I was raised very simple, old-fashioned, morals, virtues, on a ranch in Texas, sitting around the campfire, with not a lot of frills and fluff, and when I had to make a decision between what I was doing in my life or family, there was no decision there at all. It was just, I mean, as soon as my mom called me and told me what happened, and I could tell in her voice that she needed something, the house like went on the market that day. There was no
Mhm.
really thought in my mind when it came to family. And honestly, I think that, you know, people have this, and I use this analogy a lot. They're looking for the answer, they're planning, they're, they're setting these goals and they're looking to find the perfect answer for when to start. And I tell people this, if you've ever driven in snow or fog before, right, and you need to drive 10 feet, okay, but you can only, so let's say you need to drive 10 feet, but you only have 10 feet of visibility, okay, you cannot see, it's foggy, it's snowy, and your passenger says, well, hey, Mike, I don't want you to drive 10 feet, I want you to drive 20. Well, the only way you can drive 20 feet is by driving 10 feet first, then you can see another 10 feet, right? So the key to getting clarity or to knowing what you need to do in life is just taking action. So for me, Mike, to answer your question now that I rambled, I knew exactly what I needed to do when I put the house on the market. That's when I knew. I took action, I put the house on the market, and then everything else just fell into place.
Took action, dude. How many times did we just, you know, go over it in our heads like over and over and over again? Like I had a car, I haven't drove it in 6 months. I drove it, I don't know, maybe 500 miles in 6 months. Why was it so hard? Because if this happens, I'll need that car. If that does this, and I'll need that. But oh, blah blah blah. In reality, what's going to happen is it's going to cost money from sitting there rotting off in the tires and everything else. So yeah, I think I'm on the right page with you. It's just, what if? I don't know. Look, get all the information you can do your best, and throw it out there. That's life. Sometimes you make all the right calculations and it's still a stupid thing or it's still a dumb decision. Who knows? Right? Here's what I
Exactly.
do know. Here's what I do know. Most of us have been alive long enough uh, that this ain't the worst thing we've been through, and we're much better off than we were in the last thing. I mean, that's just life. Like the stock market is up and down. It's just like don't expect it to be easy. Hell, in fact, when I expected it to be hard, it got easier to manage because I didn't expect anything else, right? So, yeah, Claire, I want to go back because I like to hit these pain points because we all know you're pros, man. We all know, we see your content, we see who you are, we saw you around, people interact with you. It's easy to say, okay, they know their stuff, right? Claire knows resumes, knows how to help me figure out coaching in the healthcare. She knows this. Bryan, he's been there, he's lived it. He knows how to help me think so I can figure out the right answer for me, right? That's coaching. That's Bryan's coaching. So what gets me is these pivotal points that cause this, because that's what I want people out there to hear. We're all get to a fork in the road, and most of us take the easy route back to the left or whatever it is. And so, Claire, on that note, because well said, Bryan, man, like you just knew. um
Before
Go
Bryan
ahead.
ends the story, can I just validate one thing that I heard in there? So what I hear a lot, especially from people who have been in their career a long time, and they are really good at what they're doing, but they don't believe they can make a transition, or they don't know that they can, like Bryan, be very successful in many other ways: business ownership, coaching, as a surgeon. Like, those are three very different things that often don't coincide. And what I find that's really interesting is that most people have a system that they use, or a way that they go about business that people love them for, but they're so close to it that they don't recognize it as really a unique skill set. So what I'll hear all the time is, oh, well, I'm an executive leader, or I'm a business owner, and I don't know, I just, I enjoy what I do, and it's good business. And then you dig a little deeper and you find that it's, oh, well, I kept my patient base as a surgeon because they loved working with me, because I always remembered to ask about their parents when they were coming in for their appointments. Right? Bryan's laughing. He's like, yeah. I mean, there's a level to what we think we're good at. And then sometimes when it's so familiar to us, we don't recognize that the things that we do really well are exceptional because they're normal for us. They're just easy for us. Like
For us.
Sia and
Yeah.
Mike here. You guys can produce a show. You can you're excellent edifying your guests. You keep everybody engaged. Like, you constantly love on your people. That is so incredibly unique, and it's just in you. It's just what you guys typically do. It's how you operate, and I think it's really remarkable. And sometimes we don't give ourselves enough credit because we don't see that, but those kinds of things are what have made Bryan successful in this case in many different industries. So it's neat. Yeah.
And what's really cool too is people think that it's so hard, but I quote this study a lot, and people don't realize that if you do something new or different for 18 minutes every day, right? 18 minutes, literally, that's it. Every day you devote yourself fully to something for 18 minutes over the course of a year. That's like 110 hours, give or take, that you're devoting to that one thing. And that will put you in the 95th percentile of people that do not do that at all, right? So if you spend 18 minutes of your day, which don't tell me you don't have 18 minutes, focusing on one thing, right? Whether it's nutrition, religion, right? Like a new job, a transition, whatever it is, 18 minutes, you're automatically in the 95th percentile of people, right? So that's like incredible. So that's the thing. Like, people think change takes something really, really massive. It doesn't. It takes one thing. It takes action and then consistency, and that's it. And if you can do that, you can pretty much do anything, really.
Yep. Totally. Yep.
Wow. Good. All right. That was my mind blowing. Claire's like, what the hell was that? She didn't
No.
have no spasm.
Oh, no, I was just thinking I
I'll pick on
talked to
Claire.
this. You guys know Alicia Ramsdell? Have you met her yet? Oh, you guys have got to meet Alicia. She's great too. She'd be an amazing hound. She's a mindset coach. She just had her first TEDx talk, and she was talking also about what you're sharing, Bryan, with if you just do the little things consistently, that it can really create a massive change in your life. And in her case, she was talking about meditating 12 minutes a day. That's it. Not an hour, not a half hour, 12 minutes. And it can like radically change your life. So I don't know. Do you guys meditate? Is that something you do?
I use the phone app. I use the Calm app. Yeah, dude, you meditated on your post. Like, was that today or yesterday?
A couple of days.
It blew up real big on my phone. It's really weird. Like, I had to scroll like 6 times to see what the hell you were doing.
That's great. Calm, Headspace, or Insight Timer. Those three are awesome.
Calm.
Is it meditating?
Yeah. Headspace or Insight Timer.
Dude.
Okay, that makes sense. Is it considered meditating when Mike texts you things that are wrong and then you have to close your eyes and fix it? Is that considered meditation?
Yeah.
Yes, that is deep work.
Yeah, it is. So the Calm app, I couldn't sleep I listened to it every night for 3 or 4 years just to sleep. It was really, I mean, as far as like stress and nerves and anxiety and stuff, And that now it's like a gazillion dollars, I think. But back in the day, it was fairly, like, hey, nobody's going to use this app, so it was like $3. Now it's like one of the most popular apps you can find on the market. It's funny how it is. Uh, but yeah, Claire, you said they are so close to it that they don't see it as an asset, whatever makes them
Yeah.
special and stand out.
Yep.
No, I say it all the time. You can't see the forest from the trees. Like it's
Mhm.
amazing, right? Like I have clients that I work with. It's not just growing and networking and on LinkedIn. It's so they had I couldn't figure out why they wasn't growing to the point where we expected them to grow, right? Like they were getting people inbound, they had credibility, all this stuff was working. And then I was like, wait a minute, we're telling them to go to the website, the sales funnel. Well, when I went to the website, I'm like, now what? It was like a maze with no end in it. Like,
Mm.
so if I didn't know where to go, no one knew where to go, right? And so that's the kind of thing. Like, it's funny. I told this person, hey, make sure people don't fall out of that. Let's make sure we have a clear call to action for who's looking. And guess what I do? I put together a website, doesn't make any sense. It has no call to action. It was the same, it was worse than that one. And because I can't see the forest from the trees. And so
Mm.
the whole hounds thing is like, well, look, it's an easy benefit of being around like-minded people. I
Mm.
don't have to worry about my weaknesses, just like Claire was saying. Sia and me offset a lot of good things. We complement. She can
Mm.
go for these kind of deals, and like she's in a boardroom setting. She's better at that than I am in a lot of these cases, or it makes sense for her to go first in the digital arena. I'm okay with that. Like, I'm actually happy. I love not having to lead. I don't lead because I have to. I lead because no one else is either doing it or they're not doing it well enough at the moment. But I love when I can sit back and go, shit, I'll support you. So that's the thing. I outsource my weaknesses in the hounds. That's another thing. Like somebody asked me, they're like, all these people, like people get excited and all this stuff. I was like, dude, if I get an ego, you know how many women will text me like, stop it or we're out. Like, dude, like it'll flood, it'll break yeah. Verizon will shut down because of the text. And I'm good with that. I absolutely, because it could happen. I don't know. People say, well, how come you haven't done this? Because I'm not you. Right. Like even CJ came up with some good ideas, but I'm not CJ. That's why I'm glad CJ's there, because I would just keep fumbling around like an idiot because I don't think like she thinks. I didn't have like 18 years of school like she has. Like it's stupid not to say, hey, you're right, CJ, help me do it, because I don't know how to do it. Right.
But
So
is it when?
this is the
But wouldn't you argue that, Mike, that is one of the quintessential requirements of good leadership, is to not be the smartest person in the room, to fill out a team that fills in gaps for each other, so then you have a full team, right?
Who,
So,
not how.
right?
Yep.
And I think to some degree, there is humility that has to come into play to understand I suck at X, right?
Mm.
And you and Mike is very vocal about what he sucks at. Let me tell you.
yeah.
Oh, and as Raquel likes to say, we keep Mike in check. There are days when we're like, yeah, slow your roll, Mike. Let's come back to reality.
Some days it's harder than others. You should get paid overtime, like today. But we do, and I think that's the key point. Is instead of picking on other people's weaknesses or taking advantage of them, why not capitalize and help that person so they can help your silly butt? I mean, it's simple, right? Like
Yeah.
I can't do this. I'm not pushing buttons. I'm making
Yep.
things worse for her. Like I changed the script right before the show. She's always yelling at me. But I know other people that are technical that don't want to do this, so get in where you fit in. That's what the whole benefit of the hounds is. So
Mhm.
let me ask you, unless we have a question that somebody asked recently, that Sia, because she's picking out. No. All right. How do I put this? Oh, I'm going to combine powers here with this question, man. All right. Everybody get a notebook. All right. So someone gets laid off, maybe like Claire for the 60th time. I don't know. Maybe they're not ready to just say screw it and start a lemonade stand like Claire did. Right. So so what was your advice? How do you launch after a layoff? How do you relaunch and then never have to job search again? Okay.
Oh,
That was interesting.
yes.
Ooh.
And then I want Bryan to come behind you and talk about the mindset while you're struggling to believe this, right? Like, so you're not have a job. Claire's telling you this. Now, how do you actually believe the shit? Go ahead, Claire.
Oh, this is so good. And Bryan, this is like going to be like the perfect piggyback tag team conversation here. So I think a lot of us find that our job, and I know, like we were talking about before, you can be good at so many different things, but we spend so much time at our one role. It's usually like 70% of our life we spend at work. So it's not surprising that when you do get laid off, your pride goes out I mean, it takes a huge hit.
Yeah.
And so landing after a layoff or launching after a layoff is something that I coach my clients through, because when we are hoping to grow in our career or in our life, what do we have to come up against first? A challenge. And the only way to grow is through a challenge. And so often we will come up against something like a layoff, and immediately we feel apologetic in that next interview. Like, oh gosh, there was a gap. Like, I hope they don't find out. I don't want to talk about it. It's a blemish on my resume. And it is nothing of the sort, because what you can do with your challenge is talk about it, and talk about it up front, and talk about how you got through it. Because when you get laid off, it's not a reflection of you usually and of your work. It's probably mostly due to something that you couldn't control in the first place. You know, is a market condition. It was a data that didn't come through from a big study for your product. And that layoff instead can be the first reminder that maybe you have needed your entire career, that you've got to be ready before it's necessary. So here's what I propose to everybody tonight. Say you are going to, let's just play worst case scenario for a minute. I promise it'll get better. Say you know you're going to get laid off in 3 months, 90 days. What are you going to do today that's going to set you up and put you in a place where you will be supported and ready to continue your momentum when that layoff occurs? Well, my advice would be you want to really fire up that network, get involved with the hounds, touch base with people in industries and in your industry and in places where you want to get visible and get curious. Start your networking, right? And as you start your networking, you're going to want to also bring your awareness to what has made you successful up to this point. And this is where I find a lot of people they don't have what they need to put together that solid career story to even give themselves confidence. So what I mean is, you need a couple of things as you go through your career. Even when you're happily employed, you've got to log those contacts that you're interacting with. You've got to know your people, and you've got to log your wins and your data. So you have to start kind of holding yourself accountable every so often to know what that impact looks like, because that way, after you are starting to engage with that network regularly, you know the impact that you're having at the company, wherever you're working, or on the people you're working with, you're going to start to feel pretty good, because your work is going to have purpose, and you're going to start feeling like what you do is really valuable and worth something. So it's a really beautiful exercise. If you're listening here tonight, I recommend doing this quarterly. So set an alarm on your phone to say, check my data, maybe every first day of the quarter, so that you can look back and start to log your wins, start to think about what kind of results did I generate, and who is now a part of my life or a part of my work life that I can start to routinely check in on and network with. And you'll find that opportunities, even when you're not looking, opportunities are going to start cropping up for you, because you're constantly engaging. You're constantly fueling yourself with the belief that you do matter. What you do does matter. And you'll start to be able to touch more and more lives. And that's where the sweet spot is. That's where you start getting these opportunities cropping up. So say that 90 days comes up and that layoff does come. It's a big merger. It's an acquisition. They lose a product, whatever it is, you're laid off. You've already been digging the well all this time, and the opportunities are there should you reach out. So Bryan, I mean, what kind of mindset does this require, when it comes from your end of the spectrum? What do people need to do to really get into that belief and that routine?
Love it.
Yeah, I mean, it's the amazing thing is that a lot of people think that, when they get laid off or if they get fired, right, it's like one of the most important things to do, I think, first of all is, and I'm just going to be real with you guys, is don't choose words and don't say things in a way to make it feel less abrasive to you, right? If you got fired, you got fired, right? If you are overweight, you're overweight. If you're fat, you're fat, right? If you're not as fast as you, whatever it is, like, don't sugarcoat it. You have to be honest with yourself first, because if you're not going to make change. So get over whatever you're scared of first. And then after that, the most important thing for people to realize is that whether or not you believe this, the world is not working against you, okay? The world is actually working for you. It's not happening to you. And so I tell people this all the time. You can only be in two states, or you can only be in one state at a time. You can either be in a primal state or you can be in a powerful state. In a primal state, there's things like fear, rejection, anxiety, depression. In a powerful state, there's curiosity, creativity, love, right? Ambition, all these things. And you can't be in both of those at one time. And so if you understand that and you accept that the world is working for you and not against you, that is like literally the most powerful shift right there, right? Because how many times have we all been driving in the car and you're like, oh my God, I get every freaking red light on the way to the grocery store? No, you don't.
Yeah.
Don't think like that. If you think like that, there are actual studies that say and that prove if you constantly play the victim and you constantly think bad things will happen to you, they will happen to you. That is factual. They've actually proven that, right? So listen to that again. If you think you're the victim and you play like bad things are going to happen to you, they will happen to you. So that right there, like, has to go out the window. So I think the most important thing, Claire, that people can do when they get laid off, when they get fired, when they, you know, whatever it is, they're going through a divorce, these horrible transitions that they're going through in their life, the most important thing that they need to realize is that the emotions, the thoughts, the feelings that they're going through, 100%, they have control of them. And that the universe or the world or whoever you believe in up there or whatever, or Mike is maybe down there, whatever it is, those things are working to help you, right? They're working in your favor. And then, like Claire said, Claire mentioned the word momentum and the word purpose and the word drive. She said all three of those words because she's a coach. So if you take action, you create clarity. If you create clarity, you create alignment. When you create alignment, you create momentum. When you create momentum, you create consistent action, which will produce results that are inevitable. Okay, they're inevitable. If you take consistent, purpose-driven action, results will be inevitable. The amazing thing is 99% of people do not do that. They don't take consistent action every day. It takes 18 minutes. I already told you that. So if you can do that, then the world is your oyster, as they say. And it sounds corny and it sounds really easy, but it's not. It's hard work. But if you do it, then you get to determine your destiny.
Hey, so I gotta ask this. Y'all. Man, I've been chopping at the bit to ask this. Are you ready? You excited? All right, Claire, we're gonna go with you. Then Bryan, go ahead and do like you just did, man. Wrap it up. So, what about women who are professional women? You know, they had a job, career, whatever it may be. Then they stay at home with the kids, or they stay at home for home care. Say, and then they go back. And maybe even since COVID, this has changed a whole lot. Um, so what would your best advice be about that? Because you said we don't want to hide it, but man, it's hard to say. Well, look, if I'm going to be the VP of marketing, but I fed my kids, you know, for 3 years and did that, how do you handle that?
You know, that I even want to open it up, Mike, to someone who's had to go out of the workforce for an extended period of time, or out of their industry for an extended period of time due to
Yeah.
any kind of family obligation or illness or whatever it is. And what we initially think is, oh no, I'm going to go and interview with this company and they're going to tell me that I'm no longer desirable because I haven't had this cookie cutter trajectory. But what happens when we want to get different results in our life? So imagine, you know, say I've been, trail running for my entire life, and, you know, I have to take some time away, and I'm like, well, why am I not building that upper body strength? Well, it's because I haven't been doing anything different. So if I want different results, I'm going to try something different. Maybe I'm going to start weightlifting. So if you are out of the workforce for a while, or if you've had to go, you know, if you wanted to raise your kids and stay home for a while, or if you've had to be away for family or other kinds of obligations, It's just a change. It's nothing to apologize for. And the key is to recognize what you have learned and built and been doing during that time. We have positioned so many people since COVID who have either stayed home to homeschool their kids temporarily, or say they've had a sick mother who they've had to go and take care of, and it had to be a special situation because they couldn't have additional contact because of COVID. And they think, I have lost all the things that made me marketable. But the reality is that everything you're doing every day that you are being productive in any way, whether it's organizing kids' school activities, shuttling multiple children back and forth to school, navigating, doctor's orders, right, Bryan? And all of the circle of care that's involved with someone who's going through any kind of illness, right? All of those things are incredibly valuable, and they should be part of your story, so that when you go into that interview, I want you to lead with it first. Because if we want someone to buy into us as a person, the most important thing that we can do is to build trust with them. All of the other results and things, they can come. We can learn everything that we need to learn on the job. But just because you've been gone for a while, or you've been out being a mom or being a caretaker or what have you, you've still developed a skill set and worked on something, right? You're getting those 18 minutes a day of something in, and that's
Right.
what you can still use to market yourself, in addition to everything in your past. So that's what I would say for anyone who's feeling, a little shaky getting back into the interview after maybe being a mom and being out of the workforce for a while. Talk about what you've done with your kids. How many school pickups and are you coordinating? Let's talk about how many different classroom activities you've had to
Right.
coordinate with the other parents in the room. Maybe you're
And work.
managing all the finances now. So it's there's a lot there.
Yeah, and while all that's going on, why not work on the idea of a side hustle, right? Again,
Yeah.
broaden your horizons. I think, see, look, Brian's mojo. That's exactly what you were thinking, wasn't it? What it's like arrows in the quiver. It's more arrows you have, the more chance you have to hit something, right? You don't have to be the
Mhm.
best shot ever. You just have to keep shooting. And I think
Yeah.
that's one of
Correct.
the things that I've learned the hard way. So, what do you have to say? Because Claire, that was brilliant. I mean, don't sugarcoat it and make it sound like something it ain't. But when I did planning talks with people, I still do. And one of the things is like, well, he makes all the money, I don't make any. Yeah, but do you
Mhm.
understand how much it's going to cost to replace you? like who if you hired someone to cook, clean, sew, tutor the kids, blah blah blah, go do the dry cleaning, all this stuff, fix dinner, it came out to be like $158,000, and that was like 5 years ago. It was pretty
Wow.
hard. It was like 128 or something $1,000 to replace
Yeah.
what a house, spouse would do. And so
Yeah.
you can't say, well, you don't make any money. Yeah, because I had to pay somebody else to do all this, and I sure as hell ain't doing it. So I
Yeah.
think that's the thing. Bryan, what do you got to add to this, man?
Yeah, I think it's there's no doubt in my mind, like if you think about the soft skills that a not just a woman, a man, whoever is like the homemaker,
Mhm.
right? It's something
Yeah.
that you cannot underestimate, in the sense that some of the people that make the best transition in any career are people that were in hospitality or people that were in military, because they
Mhm.
have these soft skills. And so I think for
Yeah.
me, it's incredible how I have a lot of really, really close friends who are very well to do, very successful men. I'm not saying this, but this is just the truth. And if you ask them, the finances, the kids, right? Like I had a really good buddy of mine. I'll throw his name out there. A close friend. We talk every day. Darren McKee. A lot of you guys know him. Him and I
Yeah.
are going to Salt Lake City soon to go to the Silicon Summits. We're going to be hanging out with Gary V and Tony Robbins. Be there, be square. Anyways, and he calls me up and he's like, "Hey, dude, I just booked the VRBO. I just got airfare. Everything's good to go. Here's my wife's Venmo. She does everything, right?" So it's like, and I hear that all the time, right? So it's like, whether it's the woman or the man, they're doing not just the stuff with the kids, but the finances. They're running the household. They're doing the groceries. They're picking up the laundry, right? The guy or the girl, but typically the guy, who's a big, whatever you want to call him, like Fred Flintstone character, thinks that he has it so hard because he's going to work every day. He has the easy part. His
Yeah.
job is structured. He gets up at a certain time. He goes to work, he does his job, and he comes home. The woman or the man that's at home has all the freaking variability, all the disaster, right? It's a freaking disaster. It's a shit show.
Last week. Last week.
It's
you
a
saw what happened
full-blown
when I had the
shit show.
kids.
Yes, it's a dumpster fire. It's a dumpster fire every day, right? Like for real dumpster fire. And so the best advice I can give to that person, whether it's a woman or a man, is like when you go into the interview or you get into your mindset, think about how like going to work and doing your job, right? Like if you're good at your job, okay, if you're good at your job, you'll make good money, right? Like you'll survive, right? But if you spend time on yourself, you'll make a fortune and you'll leave a legacy, right? So people that are like a homemaker or that are doing all these other things, they're investing in themselves and other people. That's what a legacy really is. Those are the people you want on your team, not the person that just shows up and clocks in and out. So for me, it's like not even a hard sell. It's an easy sell. The woman that was at home killing it for 3 years, sign me up, right? That's like an easy sell.
Yeah, and that's also why a lot of them are saying, "Screw this! I'm just going to start a business because I'm skilled enough to do that." Like, and also, I would have to think too, and I've saw this in my wife. You know, like, hey, I don't know if I want to go back and have people tell me what to do all damn day. Like, I think I might want to, again, 5 years ago, no, I'm going to get a job. I don't want to build nothing like that. I can't do it. Now, you know what? I enjoy my couch, and I like to be able to make money sitting on that damn thing. Like, it's amazing. Again, and when you surround yourself with winners, and this is the thing, all right, everybody here, and I'm going to let them close out in a second, but network is your net worth. That is what y'all hear me say that and think it's something goofy, but look at what's happening here. It's in major life changes. It doesn't have to be. It's not always easy. Usually isn't easy, but it's not complicated. It's simple. A lot of things are very simple. And so networking, all right, the people who showed up today in the comments, you understand this right here. You participating, you standing out, you not being forgettable, and you generating curiosity, making Claire and making Bryan smile. They both have big networks, good credibility. Here you are, not talking about you, not pitch slapping in the comments. I see you guys. You're making meaningful convo. This is worth 2 or 3 viral posts to me. I want a viral post. How about you just show up, make somebody smile? That's how I met CJ. You know how many people in groups and other people would love to have CJ? Yeah, tough. I found her first because that's the point. Good, nana, boo-boo. Absolutely. So, well, and again, I've seen other people like, how did they find them first? The whole point is that we want everybody to be comfortable, even being uncomfortable. And that's the whole thing. Just don't pitch slap, man. Just walk up in the same mentality. When you type to somebody, it's just like you walked up to them. That's it. Like when I talk to somebody or I engage with another business person, it's, hey, when I send a message, it's like I walked into the office. They walked into my office, right? I look at this in the way that I, have lived most of my life offline. This is how I look at it. So, Bryan, you're coaching. We know you coach. Tell us what you specifically help with the most, you enjoy doing. When people out there in the audience hear this, who should call you? What problem are you solving for who?
Yeah, so I think the most important thing for people to realize, first of all, you can go to my LinkedIn page and book a free consult there for an hour. We can talk and see what you're stuck on. So what I do is this process of like rewiring your brain, literally, or like neuroplasticity, right? So the biggest resource on earth, I said this already, and lots of people have said this, is your mindset, period. If you can have a powerful mindset, you can do anything you want to do. Say it's hokey, say it's cheesy, it's 100% the truth. And so what I teach you how to do is, I don't solve problems. I'm not a shoulder to cry on. What I do is challenge you and support you. And I give you the tools and teach you the process of basically uncovering your limiting beliefs, learning that these things that are in your mind that are stopping you from doing what you're doing are flat out lies, learning that these things are not true, and then giving you the process to move forward and become the best version of yourself so that you can live a life of abundance and serve others and leave a legacy.
Hey, dude, I love it. Help you think. I mean, again, I hate to admit it, but I was really silly in the beginning because, I don't need a coach. I don't need a life coach. What the hell does that mean? Blah, blah, blah. And then I end up helping and coaching and working and teaching Becky, Becky Wolf, first person I think I
I
taught
love
how to grow
Becky.
on LinkedIn. And it's funny because here we are full circle over a year later, and she's teaching me a hell of a lot more than I'm teaching her. Right.
Well,
Um,
Mike, that you just quoted Socrates right there. You said, I teach you how to think. So Socrates, who was arguably like the first coach of all time, like, 4,000 years ago, he said that he doesn't teach you anything. He doesn't give you any knowledge. All he does is get you to think, right? He just asked
right.
questions. So what a coach does is, like Claire mentioned this, if you don't like if you don't like your life, if you don't like the answers, if you don't like where you are right now, you need to ask different questions. If you want to climb higher, you have to go deeper. That's the solution, right? So what a coach does is a coach asks you really hard questions so that you can figure out who you are and where you need to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love
And
that.
again, it's funny. I said the same stuff to Becky like a year ago, and here she is pretty much repeating the book to me because we're not. That's why chiropractors don't pop their own necks. Bryan, I don't think ankle surgeons do ankle surgery on their own damn ankle. There's a
No, we
reason that,
don't. Nope.
yeah. So I think amateurs do shit alone, and pros have coaches, multiple coaches, and
Mhm.
graduate coaches. I think that's what I didn't understand. Well, I can't afford it. I can't. Well, no wonder because I mean, what am I? I bought a bunch of other stuff. I could have invested. So I think the real self talk and that's where people need to start. Stop bull stuffing. Hey, intention. I do this all the time. I'm preaching not from the choir. I'm preaching from the outhouse here, man. I have to tell myself all the time. Hey, you know, start thinking about reality. Just get out of your own head. What is actually happening here? All right. Stop being emotional. Think it rational mind, right? Let the CEO out in your little head, right? C is the little CEO in my head. So let the little C out and take control over all these actions and thoughts. And when I can't do that, guess who I call? Even my wife. I was so down the other day, it was pitiful. I was like those puppies on TV, Bryan. It was
Oh,
sad, dude. So guess who my wife said, "Why don't you call Sia?" And I'm like, all the people that she know, Sia? Never mind. I know exactly why. Because she's like, well, if you call somebody else, you don't need the whole like hug and all that kind of stuff. You need somebody to kind of boot camp your ass back into shape and man up. And she told me to call
That's the
Sia, so I
key.
did it, and it worked.
yep.
I'm like, hey, and it wasn't, she had great advice. The little boxes analogies actually helped me. Um, but it was just funny. Like everybody knows like who we're gonna call, like Ghostbusters. Like we know who not to call, we know who to call. Um, and again, network with people, do business with people that are like minded, right? Eagles and
Yeah.
penguins doesn't mean the Eagles are worse than penguins. It means that I don't have crap in common with a flightless bird living in the Arctic. That's just so not judging. I'm just saying don't get it. All right, so Claire, if everybody here already should know without a doubt that you gave them stuff, I was going to cut you off because the tips and the things and the mindsets and the practical advice you gave on resume, you should have charged for it. So, daggone, I don't think we have to talk about how great you are in this wheelhouse, and also people referring others to you that could use your service, could use your help. Uh, and if they really have a depression issue, they got Bryan over here ready to help. So you got tag team like champions right here, man. Get the
Yeah.
new job and don't lose your brain while you're doing it. That's it. We're gonna call these two. All right. So where can people find you, and what do you who do you help the most? It's
hmm
healthcare professionals, like any level? Who is it?
Yeah. So if you want to connect with me, find me on LinkedIn. I live here, sadly.
Yeah.
But connect with me on LinkedIn. I'd love to hear your story. And if you're going through a layoff, here for you. And do know that you're not really meant to go through that kind of stuff alone. And it can be
No.
really hard if you try. So please
Yeah.
reach out to me. Anybody here today, I'm sure knows that there's a real power in being with the group and going through hard things together. And as far as getting your next job, if you're looking into medical sales, and if you want to make an impact, maybe you don't want to be the provider, but you want to be someone who can help to get the right tools or services or products in the hands of doctors for the patients who see them the most, call me. Because truly, that if that's on your heart, then that's something you should go after. It's a tough field, it's incredibly rewarding, and we help people get in with their resumes and their LinkedIn and their networking strategies. That's what we do.
Dude, it would be like Michael Phelps saying, "No, I can figure out how to swim on my own." They should contact you. Well, I think I can. But how much easier and better could it be with a professional with this kind of, that's the thing about this panel. These people not just read this shit somewhere. They actually lived it. They've helped people through it and they've done it themselves. What
Yeah.
else could you ask for? And they're likable, trustworthy, good people. So I got people I really love. I love who they are, what they do and stand for. And you can't find any better value than what they can provide you. There is no other half to a circle. There's just two halves, isn't it? I get this. I
Mhm.
think I said dadgummit so much that Bryan needs some. He's
No,
another
I
sip.
mean, I mean, I'm gonna get one once we get done. But I think, like with what Claire said, I think the most important thing that she said is that you really have to act now. And so if you go through life worrying about accumulated yesterdays and fearful tomorrows and all this stuff, right?
Love it.
Like what you need to realize is that there's this great quote, and it's today is the tomorrow that you worried about yesterday. Okay. Dale Carnegie said that today is the tomorrow that you worried about yesterday. And so if you're wondering, like, should I start my own business? Should I contact Claire? Should I contact, Bryan or Mike or Sia, whatever? Like, the the right decision is to just take action, because indecision is still a decision and it's a bad one, right? So just make a
Yep.
decision and do it, and you will find clarity. And Claire.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
And clarity.
Claire, clarity.
I had to.
You're leaving us in suspense. Don't drink. Tell us. Tell us now. Tell us now.
No.
Please.
I'm just saying you'll find Claire. Really.
Okay. Claire, it's a deep.
I
Yeah.
really need to
All right,
leverage
so,
this, man.
Well, hold
Yeah.
on.
all right.
I missed my cue. Oh, wait, wrong one. There we go.
That was good.
I can't even hear it. My Wi-Fi.
Uh,
All right. So you guys, thank you for hanging in there. I missed the first 20 minutes. So Sia, thank you for stepping up and being a pro. Thank you guys. I know it's late out here. But again, I hope people are soaking this in and sharing these people. Share these people with everybody. There's nobody who couldn't use their help at some point. All right. So appreciate you, Claire. You're a super pro. Um, it was worth the 2 months to get your attention. I'm so glad I did it because you just you represent and you help so many people so damn well, man. And I love, love, love it. We need more of you out there in all industries. So keep that up. I see why all the ladies and people were gushing on you. You walk the walk. Bryan, oh man, dude. Other than being outed as an alien 2 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, you have it was funny because
You
you're like,
had
I'm
me.
coaching now.
You had me at hello. You had me some Jerry Maguire shit
Oh.
for real. I mean, it's like you didn't. It didn't take 2 weeks. You just called me up and batted those eyelashes, and I was in.
You talking about me or Claire?
Mike
talking to you.
made me tear up on our first phone call in a FedEx. The people behind the counter were like, "Is she okay?"
Oh,
My
But it
package
was
is
just-
delayed.
I was like, "I'm sorry, we're out of that collated copy paper." But really, I mean, I'm so honored, you guys. Honestly, it's really impressive the way that you all invest in each other, and I feel so grateful to be here, and so thank you so much. And yeah, I mean, here's the thing: once you go through a bunch of hard things, right? If you go through a bunch of hard things in your life, you want to help other people when you see them in pain too. So if I can make anybody's career transition easier, because that's where a lot of my hardship comes from, then I'm here for you. I'm here to do it. So thank you guys. You're amazing.
That's what this, man, I can't believe I built Redneck Camelot with you guys. It's unbelievable, dude. So hey, I'm gonna close because if I say y'all, if we're closing, people leave. So your network, look, I got enough free stuff. First of all, if you want to know more, you're intrigued, you want to meet folks, talk DM. Actually, better than DM because that looks just there's too much spam. Go to their profiles, go to Claire, go to Bryan, support them, be genuine, read something from like last year. Show interest. That's it, and comment because that helps them get more visibility. We all want it. So go out there, be nice, share your crayons, right? Flex your kindergarten skills. It's not that hard. How would you want to be treated? Face-to-face mindset. Go out there and do it. Because I got enough free stuff here to benefit people that I know that people who are ready to go to the next level with me and the networking, the growth and coaching, you know what? If I do that good of a job for free, you don't wonder if you pay me if I'm going to do that job, right? I'm already doing it. So I want all boats to rise. Some people can't afford anything at this point, and I don't want that to be a barrier. So we have a place for everybody at the spectrum. And wherever you're at when you come into the hounds on that spectrum, the goal is to move forward. And I don't care who you are, you get stuck. People get stuck. All right. Like four-wheelers on a rainy day, man. Lots of people get stuck. Brian, man. Brian's, he's what, 25, 30? He got stuck later career. I mean, everybody needs somebody to push them up at some point.
Yeah.
And that's the key. So come to the hounds, eat up all the free stuff. It's better than probably what you're doing on your own. All right. And then get to know people. Just ask questions, get to know things. And there's a lot of benefits to this. All right. So what am I up to? That I love it. But what are you up to? I'm just going to bring value to you till you demand to pay me to do it more. That's pretty much my game plan. That's what I'm up to. And that's what everybody has a commonality. We're not doing any business and we can't help people. That's the whole thing. Like I've seen people say no to other people. And that's a hell of a thing to do because you could have made $500 blow smoke up their butt. But then people say, you know what? You're better served over here. Boy, you want to score cool points with me and the hounds, do that stuff. Right. And if you don't have an affiliate worked out, well, join the hounds. I mean, join the hounds. But I appreciate you guys because you are seriously personify what we stand for on the business and the personal side. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Reach out to us. Don't forget Raquel's show on Saturday. Happy Memorial Day. I got the days right. Memorial. Hey, honor those who serve. Always honor those who serve and those who didn't make it and pay the sacrifice. Love everybody in this. Honor those and hey, enjoy the family time. Take a day off. Hell, I am. Why not? Right. So take a couple of days off. Enjoy. Recharge. We'll see you next Wednesday. Love you guys. Roll the outro. Yeah. Thank y'all for stopping by. Be sure to follow, share, and like, and send me a message if you had fun today. Y'all come back now.